Hello, fellow journalers. How are we doing today? I hope you're doing wonderful. Today, I thought I'd take you through 5 things that you can track in your bullet journal. These are 5 things that I haven't seen that much around, and I find them kind of unique. Some of them I have seen. And there's a lot of example. I'm not inventing the wheel here, but I thought it would be nice to show you different things you can either track in your bullet journal or in a separate journal if you want to. So I'm starting off with creative works. I do a lot of crocheting, knitting, sewing, you name it. I like to do it. Drawings, painting, yeah, whatever. And I like to track those in a separate journal. For example, with my knit work and my crocheting, I like to draw what it will look like as a finished project, and I separate it into different parts. I kind of write what it is supposed to be, or perhaps I give it a name, and I like to write down the start date, and I color in the parts of what I have crocheted or knitted as far in the project. I separated the part in the front, in like front part of the sweater down the middle. One represents the front part of the sweater, the other one represents the back, and you can have like arm 1 or arm 2, and you can do this the way you want, the way it makes sense with your project. Another nice thing to write down is perhaps like the yarn type. A lot of times it has its own care label, and then you have everything tracked down somewhere where it's easy to find it. For my other example, it's for when you're making blankets or patchworks. The first one is a blanket that I'm currently making. It's represented by a lot of different squares, and I'm going to crochet all of them together. One way you can track it is just coloring in the squares you're done with. If you want to be even more intricate, you can part it up in different parts and color it in, like if they take a long time to make. You can also combine this with a mood tracker. So you can color in the way you felt making that square, because I know a lot of times you can also use emojis if you want to. A lot of times I get really excited in the start and I'm so bored of it by like the middle towards the end. And when I'm almost done, I'm up on a high again to be finished with the project. So it's a fun way for me to kind of track how I felt during the project. The last one, I'm sketching out my plan for the wedding dress here. I can do a more detailed plan, like plan the wedding dress with me later on, but here's kind of like the sketch above it. The skirt is combined with a lot of patchwork circles, and I'm going to crochet the corset in different parts. So here I'd color in the part of the corset part that I'm done with, and also for the circles you can do it as I've explained in the blanket. Continuing on, this one I have seen a lot of places, and it's when did I last. It's a nice way to track like tasks that you do sometimes but not all the time, and it's kind of redundant to have in a habit tracker. When did I last? You can separate it into a lot of different categories. I like to have one for my weekly tasks, one for my monthly task, and some tasks you only do like occasionally. So I like to make a separate one for those. For the weekly tasks here, I kind of I don't know what I was thinking when I was drawing this, but the way I've drawn it up, you can under the weekly part you have your tasks, and under each of the month you kind of make a square for the week, like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and you kind of cross out if you've done that task for that week. Same goes for monthly. Here you only need a square for it, and the occasionally I kind of make just a lot of square places to write dates on it. Yeah, I make the occasionally one. I usually make just the months, because it's not often enough to do for the weekly or the monthly. Perhaps you do it like 4 times a year or 2 times a year. As yeah, I just mark down each month, and I can just have a quick overlook at when I did the last task. So what is a good weekly task? Well, one of the things that I do weekly is water the plants that I have indoors. If not, they die. And another thing you can do weekly, if you don't have pets, vacuuming or mopping the floor is a good weekly task. Like if you want to not do well into like household chores and stuff like that, you can do like hair masks or face masks. For the monthly tasks, I have cleaning my car. Because I use it when I work, and I work outside, and it gets dirty really quickly and dusty. You can also have reorganizing the closet. It's kind of extreme to have that as a monthly, but it's an idea. You clean the fridge, it's nice to do monthly. Perhaps you're doing some volunteer work. You can clean the air filter. The dog nails needs to get clipped, like, or change a toothbrush. That you also can put on occasionally. For occasionally, like, you don't wash the windows every month. At least I don't do. Deep clean the furniture, clean the duvet, clean out your closet, empty the freezer, weeding the front yard. Like, these are the tasks that you kind of do sometimes during the year, but not always. I'm creating lines here to keep the makes it easier for me to makes it easier for you to see. Also, for the blocks, you can either put down dates or you can just cross out for having done the task. In the first one, I either recommend you write down like the blocks that I talked about in the first part, or you could just do it for a weekly setting and write down the day of the month that you did the task. Another idea for when did I last that I should absolutely make in my journal, considering how bad I am at managing my social media. It's been quiet here and I apologize for that. My life's been really busy. But I thought of this like something that I should make, but it's a overview of your social media activity. If you're either a business or an influencer or a social media person, it would be nice to have kind of an overview of the types of social media you want to be active on. And you can write down perhaps the dates when you posted things. If you're really clever, you can write down perhaps some keywords that represents the different things you can post on the different sites, and you make an easy overview of what you posted where and where you've been active. So for my next part, I thought of tracking the types of beverages that you tend to drink. This one is inspired by like movie trackers or stuff like that. Personally, I like to I drink a lot of tea. And I try out a lot of teas, and it would be nice to have kind of an overview of the teas that I've tried, where I bought them, what notes I got from the tea, how the brewing of the tea was, how hot was the water, what worked, and also kind of perhaps a rating of how well did I like the tea out of 5 stars perhaps. If you don't enjoy drinking tea but you enjoy drinking wine instead, you can do the same with wine. You can have the name of the wine, when it was produced, the notes you got from it. Like in Norway, we have these special places that we buy stronger alcohols. We don't get to buy them in the convenience store. And they have these funny little wheels with the amount of fruitiness it has and the boldness and stuff like that. And you can copy that and color it in for yourself and track down what you thought of it. If you're not allowed to drink wine, you can do the same thing for sodas. There are a lot of interesting sodas. Here I have Jarritos as an example. You can also do this with beers, coffee, waters, perhaps syrups. But you can also do this with different types of food if you enjoy eating out. You can put down where you bought a burger or where you bought the food and what you liked, what you disliked. Perhaps you have a Polaroid camera, you can take small pictures and print into your book. So yeah, there's a lot of different things you can track that you enjoy every day, and it also makes you kind of step back, calm down, and just live in the moment. And I think we need more of that during these days. Number 4 is one that I am constantly working on, and it's tracking any new habits that I have. And this one is, if you want to really start building habits, is a nice thing to start tracking the habits that you want to build. A classic way of doing this is just the square box that you see in me doing my journals. I like to do them on a weekly basis to kind of help reminding myself. Another weekly way of doing things is just, if you want to just track one thing, you can just make one square. If you have a monthly setup, like a monthly page with an overview, you can do it for a monthly tracker as well. So I'm just giving you a couple of ideas here how to make your trackers. One of my pro tips when it comes to tracking new habits is to make it, first of all, achievable. Like, let's take, for example, if you want to walk 10 steps every single day. Of course, that should be the goal, but you need to make some leeway for you to fail and plan for the failure. And sometimes it's just not doable. So for 10 steps, if you want to make it like a monthly tracker, you can make it the same way as you make a monthly calendar, and you just dot in the days that you have walked. And you can also kind of make this like don't break the chain, to make yourself more motivated to continue walking the 10k steps every day. One that I should absolutely do is drinking more water. Here's a weekly setup for it. You have a water drop for each day, and you can color in the days where you have drinking the amount of water that is your goal. You can also color them like halfway if you're only halfway there, you know. So for the weekly habit tracker that I usually have, you can either make this like weekly or monthly, yearly if you want to. It's a simple one, it's quick to set up, it looks great. Here I have a list of a lot of things, and the main idea here is that you mix in the new habits with the habits that you're already great at doing. So for instance, if you want to do more yoga and set more time to do your teach yourself Spanish, you can have eating dinner and brushing your teeth, so that you get back to the habit tracker to constantly cross out, and you see the other things that you want to do during the week, and you can cross it out and you remind yourself like that, oh yeah, that was my goal, that's true. For the last one, it's a exercise tracker. Here I've set up enough squares for a whole month, and the idea here is that you can color in one for each of the different type of exercises that you do. A lot of times you can do cardio, you can do weightlifting, you can do running, and running is a type of cardio, but yeah, you get the idea. So for the different types of exercises you do, you have different colors. It's a nice way to add some colors to your bullet journal. Another one that I've not seen that often is a relationship tracker. Every single one of us lives a really busy life, and it's easy to forget our loved ones in the midst of it all. And who is the loved ones? Well, what kind of things can you put in a relationship tracker? It doesn't have to be like a romantic relationship. It could be by your parents, your friends. Perhaps you're trying to volunteer, do something for the community, hanging out with friends, do something nice, check in on someone, date night plans, or when you had a date night. This one you can set up quite similar to the habit tracker that I showed on the other page. You can either put down, like for instance, different dates that you did the different things. You could have it for a weekly basis or as a monthly tracker if you want to, which I've shown here quite quickly. My camera was running out of battery, and as you can see during the video, the daylight was dying, so but yeah, you can have this either as a monthly planner or a weekly planner. Yeah, I think this is a nice way to remind ourselves to keep in touch with our loved ones, and also remind ourselves to do good and try to help the ones around us. So I hope it gave you some ideas for what you can put in your bullet journal. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I'm curious to know what kind of trackers do you have in your bullet journal, and if you want to use any of the ideas that I pulled up in this video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!